Morning, dear hearts. We are starting review number 2. Yay. Please subscribe. And we start with the introduction because I always start with the introduction. I'm a big proponent of the introductions. We have an introduction to the beginning of the workbook. We have an introduction to each section. And we have an introduction to the reviews. So the introduction for today, as we begin our second review, is not very long, but it has some amazing information in it that will help us as we continue on our way. It tells us that, yes, we're beginning where we left off. We are beginning with lesson 61. We will be reviewing 2 lessons each day. We've had 20 since our last review, so it'll be a 10-day period of time. We are going to be doing things that we have already been doing with our practicing as far as getting quiet and listening. We are able to listen. Remember that God's voice is speaking to us all through the day, but we have to get quiet first. We have to get still. Our mind has to get still because God's voice is not the loudest one. So we need to get into a space of quietude so that we can actually hear. It tells us there's a message waiting for you. The practicing, because we have 2 lessons each day, so we have 2 longer practice periods, 15 minutes for each one. And so we are to reread the lesson, and there's some information, little text-like. It's not exactly the same as when we first had the lesson. And then to get quiet and to listen and to know that there will be a message for us. It says, be confident you will receive it. Remember that it belongs to you and it's something that you want. You want to hear. And do not allow your intent to waver in the face of distracting thoughts. And there's a lot of distracting thoughts. So we know there's 62,000 of them. So they're right there, ready to go through our mind and keep us intent on something other than what it is we truly want, and realize whatever the form these thoughts may take, they've got no meaning, they have no power. Do not forget that your will has power over all fantasies and dreams, because our will is God's will. Now, paragraph 5 of the introduction is something that I go to every year that I've been doing this. This is the 5th. And it says, regard these practice periods as dedications to the way, the truth, and the life. Refuse to be sidetracked into detours, illusions, and thoughts of death. You are dedicated to salvation, your freedom, your happiness, and be determined each day not to leave your function unfulfilled. So here we have this a wonderful dichotomy. We have the way, and we have a detour. We have the truth, and we have on the opposite side illusions. And then we have life. And as opposed to that, we have thoughts of death. We get to choose which of these 3, which trinity we want to choose, which one will guide us and lead us to our salvation, our happiness, our freedom. It's up to us. The 2 lessons that we are reviewing today, the first one is lesson 61. As we came out of our last review, it's a giant stride. It's a favorite lesson. I am the light of the world. It's something that we get to realize that in truth, this is who we are. We have a function of lighting up this world, and it is in doing that that we will really come to know and realize who are we? You know, that existential question of who am I? Well, this understanding that we are indeed the light of the world will help us to understand that. It will give us the awareness of who we truly are. And it will give us the way to find our way home. And home isn't a building. It isn't a location outside of us. It is the inside awareness of where we belong and who we really are. We are trying, and we will succeed, to get home. So we have the title of the lesson that we're reviewing, I'm a Light of the World. We have a couple of short paragraphs about it. And then because we still are going to have the frequent practice periods, we're given 3 suggestions. And we're told they're merely suggestions because at this point in our studying, we're on lesson 81. At this point in our study, our journey home, our spiritual path, we have already acquired quite a few course-related thoughts happening in our mind. And it is best when we can connect with those. But we are also given, let me not obscure the light of the world in me. Let the light of the world shine through this appearance. And this shadow will vanish before the light. When anything we look upon that is, as always, seeming to distress us during the course of our day, this sentence, this thought will help that this shadow will vanish before the light. Because if I'm seeing a darkness, if I'm not seeing the truth, I'm not remembering who I am. I'm not remembering who that one is that I am looking at. This will help with our peace. This will help with the remembrance of our real, true self with a big S. And then our second lesson for review is forgiveness is my function as the light of the world. Now it says, it's understanding, for I do not yet understand forgiveness. Forgiveness is complicated for us. It is not what we have always thought it was. It is something different. It is something that is real. This has also been described as a course in forgiveness. It has a course in choosing, because we're doing that all the time as well. But trust that with the light within us, we will learn to come and see and know and accept what forgiveness truly is for us and for everyone else, the rest of the sonship. And as I allow my light to shine, my understanding of this function will become clearer and clearer. So, and I have blended this with lesson 46 in the past, that God is the love in which I forgive, so that we are coming to learn what love is, and we will also come to understand forgiveness. We're given 3 suggestions for this lesson as well, and for our frequent practicing. And the last one is, I will not use this for an alien purpose. And I'm only going to address that one because that might be the one that seems a little less understandable. And the alien purpose would be for me to use the idea of forgiveness for something that instead of is the way, it would be a detour. And instead of leading to truth, it would lead to illusions. And instead of giving me thoughts of life and eternal life, it would be, I'd be using it towards thoughts of death and destruction. So I will not use the idea that forgiveness is my function as the light of the world to do anything but to lift up into the light everyone and everything, and of course, me as well. That's it for today. So I hope it helped. Please like, please share, please subscribe, please comment, please smile for so very many reasons today. 1, that we're here, and 2, that we get to spend this time together, and because it's so good for us. And take in a deep breath and release everything else. And pray for this understanding to really dawn into our minds as quickly as possible. And Isabella is in full bloom. Namaste.